gathered all the evidence and insane details that explain what will happen in Squid Game Season 3, including proof that Gi-Hun could die and the frontman actually being a good person. But let's start off with the new games. We know there will be one with climbing. In the dormitory, there are figures on the walls representing potential new games. One of them displays people on monkey bars climbing. This could easily translate into a deadly competition where players must travel at great height, paralleling Season 1 with the final game being a glass bridge. If someone falls, they die, and if they don't finish before the timer runs out, they get the same fate. Another game featured in the post-credit scene includes a train track and its traffic sign. The new doll is named Chol-Soo, who is paired with Young-hee in South Korean education material. The next game could link the traditional Korean Dong-Dong game, where players have to respond to arithmetic commands that alternate between go and stop. Now, whilst the song is playing, they have to go around the train track, where it's made with two opposite people holding hands. But in this case, it would be Chol-Soo and Young-hee. The game goes something like this. And in essence, they have to get to the other side whilst holding on to their team members. But it's all about trust, as the other person in front of you might cause you to lose. However, another game pattern on the wall is chess or checkers, since it has to be children games. This means players participate in a real-life human chess game, where advancing to take out the pieces would result in a player's death. There would be 32 or 24 players left, the same number as the number of pieces in chess and checkers. One person from each group would pick a leader to control how the game goes, and Gi-Hun, being player 456, will be one of them. This would fit into the story, as he told the frontman in episode 7 that smaller sacrifices are necessary for the greater good, which means Gi-Hun would literally have to do so in the game, imposing the frontman's view on the world onto him once again. This would fit the story of Season 3 perfectly, with two factions already forming, one side to keep the games going and the other wanting to leave. It's like a metaphor of Gi-Hun facing off against the front man, yin and yang, black and white, facing off against each other in their clashing ideology. Now, when we look at the marketing of Season 3, it even foreshadows that. Gi-Hun is wearing a black suit just like in the games, whilst the front man is wearing white. But interestingly, Gi-Hun's failure in Season 2 will be explored further in the next season through the shaman player 44. Everyone is confused regarding the purpose of her character and found her annoying, but there is important details to be noted. From her very first appearance, she displayed an uncanny ability to identify Gi-Hun's internal struggle. She saw right through it, recognizing that he's haunted by the games and the vengeful souls of the dead, essentially a metaphor for his survivor's guilt, which is also his primary motivator for re-entering the games to get revenge for them. However, her dialogue foreshadows events in Season 3. She states, "I should slay you with my knife." This line is spoken when she joins player 120's team during the 6-leg race. Interestingly, while saying this, she looks towards the mother-son duo. But here's where it gets intriguing. We know Granny has a hairpin knife, and the betrayal she felt in Mingle has started a feud where she claims to have cursed Gi-Hun and the gang. Now, let's take this deeper. Remember when player 44 said this to Gi-Hun?
"You've lived longer than you were ever meant to. You're here for a reason. You were drawn by destiny."
Notice how she states this whilst glancing at the pregnant contestant, player 222. This means Gi-Hun and the pregnant girl's future are intertwined, as she will give birth during the games, and player 222's survival is key to Gi-Hun's character development, as it will prove there is hope in this messed up world, which will affect the frontman wavering his persona into his old good self. Let's remember that the frontman's wife died whilst pregnant. This loss caused great pain, but he is shown to be concerned regarding the pregnant player because she reminds him of his wife. This is linked to the scene against Thanos. He was enraged and beat him to a pulp only when he mentioned, "Take care of your own damn kids."
밖에 나가서 함부로 나불대지 말고.
But this pregnant storyline will come with sacrifices, as the shaman also claims during the Mingle game, you will be joining her in the underworld soon. This feels like a clear death flag for player 120, as she later states the following.
이들도 절대로 살아서는 여길 못 나가. 끔찍한 고통 속에서 죽게 될 거야. 서로 많이 쳐다보면서.
This curse is also aimed at the mother's son. The old lady will be a midwife to help with the pregnancy since she's experienced. But player 44's claim, if you give up, I will kill you before your gods do, sets the tone of this crazy character, especially since Korean shamanism is an indigenous spiritual tradition that has existed in Korea since ancient times. And although very few Koreans practice it today, the creator of Squid Game has added this character on purpose, as many view shamans as fortune tellers and consult one for serious issues. What's more serious than the Squid Game? But speaking of serious issues, let's talk about God 11 and Player 246. Season 2 made it seem like Player 246 was killed, right? But the evidence discovered shows it's clear that he survived. The guard who shot him wore a triangle mask, similar to the North Korean woman. This woman sympathized with 246 after meeting his young daughter and was also involved in the organ trafficking plot. She even visits the hospital and enters the girl's room to hold her hand and leave the hat before exiting. This implies she only injured him to fake his death, planning to save 246 during the organ harvesting operation in season 3. The coffin will be used to secretly transport him. After all, Guard 11 had a meeting with the officer to not fatally shoot the contestants, which means she would only be following orders after the multiple warnings she received. However, interestingly, the meaning of her name also holds significance. Remember Kang Seobyok from season 1? Well, both these characters are from North Korea. Their family name is Kang, and No-ul means sunset. Seobyok means dawn. And when we take a look at the official poster for season 3, it features just that. Both women's histories show that they are North Korean defectors attempting to bring their families to South Korea. Seobyok had an older brother that died from a plague. This could mean God 11 is her sister-in-law, who took on the Kang surname, and the baby she is looking for is first cousins with Kang Cheol. Gi-Hun monitored him in season 2 to see how he's doing, as Sang-woo's mother has adopted him. However, speaking of looking for a kid, the frontman's backstory has to be revealed in season 3. In the finale, Gi-Hun thinks player 1 is dead thanks to the radio transmission. He will be put back into the games because it's written in the contract, and the creator of Squid Game confirmed that you will get to see the VIPs in the 3rd season. They're on their way already. Their chopper is flying over the island right now. In fact, it's also confirmed one of the VIPs is American and will lead to a spin-off season based on other countries, since Squid Game is across the entire globe. But in the teaser, we see a glimpse of a game with players 353, 96 and 100 walking towards the doll. A lot of fans speculate this is a flashback to 2015 when the frontman participated, because we have already seen player 100 being an old man with greyish hair. But this can be debunked, because double checking the numbers throughout season 2, we clearly know these numbers are still alive. None of them have been eliminated. Plus, we see the train traffic sign on the right hand side, and the frontman was player 132 in the 2015 Squid Game when his brother found the records in season 1. So in truth, season 3 will logically explain a gap in the story regarding him. A small detail in season 2 that everyone seems to miss is that it's the 5th year anniversary of In-ho's wife's death, but he won the games in 2015. Thus, she did not die until 2018 at the earliest. That means the frontman had the money to save her. So why exactly did Jun-ho find that he lived in a cheap dormitory and struggled to pay off his rent on time in season 1? How come he didn't spend the money he wanted to save her? Well, this is where the confirmed juicy details of season 3 come in. Just like Gi-Hun, the frontman felt too guilty to use the money he had won and was a man with morals just as idealistic as Gi-Hun. The creator of Squid Game revealed that whilst writing the frontman's character, he purposely showcased a good side to him that actually enjoys Gi-Hun's company. He revealed that Hwang In-ho in episode 6 of season 2, we witness a pivotal moment that encapsulates the complexity of the frontman, showcasing his 3 distinct personas that trouble his mind. During the game of Mingle, players must form groups of a specific number and lock themselves in a room together. In a round requiring exactly 2 numbers, the frontman without hesitation or a blink of an eye kills someone to meet the requirement. The 3 personas the creator of Squid Game confirmed in this scene are the following. Number 1, In-ho, the righteous cop he once was, representing his past. Number 2, Young-il, the player who participates in the games, symbolizing his survival instinct. Number 3, the frontman, the cold, calculating leader who would do anything to maintain control. However, the writer of Squid Game confirmed Gi-Hun's unwavering hope and compassion begins to affect the frontman. The creator stated that Gi-Hun's optimism rubs off on him, and at some point you can feel he's actually enjoying himself in the game and he's excited and nervous. This means whilst he went back to the game wanting to change the way Gi-Hun viewed the world, on some level, subconsciously, he looks at Gi-Hun, who refuses to let go of the hope that he carries for humanity. And that reminds In-ho of himself, the person of the past that he was. The creator of Squid Game stated that Gi-Hun's compassion is so contagious that there's a very small part of In-ho that is actually rooting for him along the way. However, his frontman persona is too strong. As a result, in season 3, his brother Jun-ho will be able to track the island and rescue the remaining players by getting information from the boat captain once they discover he is a spy who sabotaged the drone. At the end of the day, Jun-ho is the frontman's weak spot. As we know from season 1, he told his brother to join him and did not want to shoot, and he didn't even kill him, where it's confirmed that in season 3, we will finally learn how In-ho got into the position he's in. A popular theory is that the frontman shared a similar goal with Gi-Hun, stopping the deadly games as a police officer in 2015, which means he can team up with Gi-Hun in a plan to take down the VIPs. They can detonate bombs hidden on the island whilst the VIPs are present, killing them in the process whilst he sacrifices himself in repentance. This could mean that the frontman discovered that as long as there are rich people seeking twisted entertainment and desperate players willing to participate, the games can never truly be stopped. Instead, he chose to become the frontman to ensure the games were at least fair and not manipulated, hoping for a way to stop it. Gi-Hun, on the other hand, might be headed down a similar path. Whilst he has the determination to fight the system, there's an airy possibility that he could become the next front man. The 2 characters seem destined to mirror each other in many ways. Just like In-ho was fired by the police for this so-called bribe, Gi-Hun will face accusations of betrayal when he returns to the lobby, since he receives special treatment during the games whilst his closest allies died due to his stupid plan. A clue supporting the theory of Gi-Hun becoming the front man comes from a moment on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Both buttons were pressed when he was asked if Gi-Hun becomes that very person, implying that his fate could ultimately lead to his death. Now, to learn more hidden details about Squid Game that will blow your mind, watch this video on your screen right now.